There were a couple press briefings, and I was taking video of that. I was transcribing, posting short updates about what was said, the important points of what was said, and just making sure that if there were people kind of outside, some people would kind of come toward the firehouse, almost like gawkers who had been in the area who maybe wanted to be on TV or maybe wanted to be interviewed. And so we tried to take advantage of that and just ask them. I got one guy on the phone who eventually came to the station later and talked with everybody. The person who had been in the building next door, he eventually came to the firehouse, and there were some other people like that who kind of were saying, hey, I was there. If you'd like to talk with me, I can. And so there were people like that wanting to make sure, do we need this person? Our editor said, just stick with the officials for now. When we showed up, there were people out on the lawn of this, it was an apartment complex, and I think they were pretty mystified, and they were looking for some answers too. And so we just, beyond police tape, which had been strung up around the building where he lived, which was a good sign we were at the right place, people were kind of wondering what's going on here, and so they were just standing around. And so we just kind of went from people to people asking, is this a name you've heard before? We showed them some pictures that had been on Twitter. We weren't sure which ones were debunked at the moment or which ones were real, and said, does this guy look familiar? And people would say, I don't know. And then a news editor sent an updated photo that ended up being the real guy, and he said, that's the guy, that's the guy. But he didn't have a name that he could associate with it, so it was really tough to kind of confirm everything about this is definitely where this guy lived, because the neighbors didn't know much about him. There was so little contact, so that was really frustrating. So in some ways, they were asking as much information from us as we were from them. When we showed them the photos, and it ended up being the photo of the real one, the reaction was really wild, kind of unlike something I've seen before talking to someone, and he was horrified, going backwards, standing and pointing at it and say, that's the guy, that's the guy, and I can't believe this. And I got in an argument with someone on my porch last week over something really innocuous. Who would have known? You can see them kind of reeling back in their mind of, were there clues I missed here? And that was, we ended up not really being able to use a whole lot of it because they couldn't tie a name to a face. But just getting the kind of visceral reactions, you could tell they were just thinking, I lived underneath this person,